I wanted to go off camera though. Okay. No, first. I mean, we're on camera. Good day, good love, good light, illuminators and way showers. It is once again in divine loving grace, gratitude, honor, and appreciation that you are here with us today, sharing this beautiful space where once again we gather in harmony and love and unity and understanding and acceptance and allowance of our expansion, of our internal growth, and knowing ourselves more fully through each other and through each other's sharing. So it is in divine sharing today that we welcome all souls, all beings, all light beings from all of our star families, our soul families, for we are all soul families. And the one is the all, and the all are the one, and all of you and all of us and all of creation are all that is expressing itself, seeing itself and knowing thyself more fully, more expansively, and growing in its awareness as we grow in our awareness and our realizations and appreciations. And today, this is dedicated to all of us and all aspects of every expression of the light that is source, that is all of us, all of creation, and how all of us are channels of that light, and each of us speaking, singing, expressing artistically in a variety of ways our own unique language of light, for we all are the languages of lights, each and every one of us expressing ourselves in a unique and beautiful way. So I'd like to take this moment to bless this space. Nishamila Tiavano Unayavala Kesevasoro Shonoko. The Aina Ikura Vishnu Siva Simiala Vesawa Alahi Tayanoro Koya Shasapa Sapatonde Kianania Shasopo. Mihila Hilakataviana Kiseto Nivu Shunutiala Se, and that may all feel the freedom to express themselves in every way and know that this is a beautiful exchange from all corners of creation, inter, extra, and multidimensionally. All ears and eyes are on us today. So we share this beautiful exchange and welcome all of these beings, all of the fractals of each and every one of you and your souls and oversouls, as infinite as that is to imagine. We welcome and honor the presence today. Nashimilana tuvo to undurivandi alukoshe lavasone alava hono to vekandaya shanoseke shian shandateke lansianate. I'm so excited to be here, you guys, today. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Wendy Wolf. This is my fiance, Dave Yellen, and we are excited beyond words, beyond comprehension, really, the excitement that we have today as we once again gather in this live space together with all of you and create the inner space that we are so lucky to have through Zoom, that we can be together and share the joy and the energy of light language, our experiences with it, and how are we applying it today and everything in between. I invite all of you to participate. Those are who in the room. And if you haven't, you can still hop on the website to the event and get in the Zoom link. And so, is it open still?
Should be.
Okay, I just wanted to check. So, and I invite all of you to participate in any way you like. It's really just a fun, open event. I have so many old and new friends, but really everything's now, and my soul and star families. I am so excited to be in this presence with all of you, and was given some beautiful just images and messages today as I was meditating and getting excited about today and getting visions and just receiving the energy from all of you. And so I am in great appreciation of you being here. So please do feel welcome to on mic, whenever you want to share. If somebody else is talking, feel free to raise your hand. Let us know if you'd like to share your light language, or if you've got a comment. It really is open for all of us to, freely express ourselves. Tell us what's going on in your life. It's been a crazy ride for us in the last year. We've relocated from Southern Florida to Alabama in the last year, so we're still getting settled and unpacked and our feet wet again, and starting new exciting endeavors and new explorations with all of you to open up more, not only of this open stuff on live TV, live Zoom, but also new opportunities for Dave and I to extend these spaces to. We're going to be doing a lot more private things, and a lot of people have expressed throughout the years. If you're new to my channel, please do explore the channel. There's over 1,300 videos to share, everything from light languages and channeling to connecting with the nature spirits, the multi-dimensions, all of the information and connections are vast in all of these videos, and I think you'll find them hopefully entertaining as well as expanding and activating lots and lots of light language, lots of nature. And it's been my joy and sheer pleasure to spend private time and open time like this with all of you. It's been a wonderful 7 years
and you can find Wendy on her website, languagesoflights.com, and links to YouTube and all kinds of other things from that website.
Thank you.
Happy Goddess Friday, everyone.
Oh yeah, it's Goddess Friday. So yeah, we used to do Goddess Fridays for a little while, where we did a hangout every week, in which we also did a Zoom room where we really expressed our honor and appreciation for the gods and goddesses, and we expressed that Goddess Friday is a day to honor the goddess. So we do to honor today the god and goddesses in all of us. And so thank you for reminding me about Goddess Fridays.
And thank you everyone for coming and being willing to be live on YouTube.
Yes.
And as Wendy was saying, one of the first things that we want to make available are these hangouts, but not on YouTube, and just private Zoom meetings to get together, speak light language, talk about whatever it is, without being concerned about having your camera on or things being live.
Or published anywhere on social media.
So, and of course, when we used to do these hangouts, we would sometimes stay hours after we shut off the live feed and hang out.
And we found that it was really, a lot of people didn't want to let their hair down and put their camera on until the live feed was off. And that's very understandable for a variety of reasons.
So we're going to be offering that as well. But are we ready to put?
And lots more events.
Let's put everybody's on and let them introduce themselves.
Oh yes, I was going to introduce everybody, but if you'd like to introduce yourself and say hello if you want to, you don't have to. Just explore or express whatever you want to in the moment. So yeah, whoever wants to unmute and say hi, go ahead. And if not, we'll just keep talking.
And I think everyone should be able to be unmuted.
Good to see all your smiling faces. Mwah. And those of you who aren't on camera, that's okay. We're very, very happy to have you here to share your joy, your energy, and your love and support. And happy to hope to have you on mute if you're so desire. If you don't, that's okay too. That's the beauty of all of this.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Pam.
Hi,
Pam from Tennessee.
Happy to be here. I'm from Tennessee and living in the lap of nature. So I'm happy to be here. Excited for the energy of the day. I believe Wendy and I have known each other in a couple of lifetimes. I think we've had a couple of lifetimes of experiences somewhere in our lineages. So
most definitely, I would say that for probably everyone in the room present, that all of us have been gathered together many times in many parallel lives, for sure.
Probably very true, but the connection is just very sweet, and I'm glad to be here. And I have someone at my door, my roof, so
yeah, I heard. Yeah,
it's good to see everybody.
Okay, thank you, Pam. Oh, poor girl, new roof, and she's got leaks. My heart goes out to her. Oh, but see, this is life, you guys, and this is the thing, and this is kind of funny. It's like this was like the perfect segue into this too, because this is life. We live our lives, normal lives like everybody else, and yet this is also our life. The incorporating all of this and light languages. And it was kind of funny because when I met Pam, it was the first person, I think it was the first person, I want to say, other than like people we knew or at the light language event, that I lived near in my neighborhood and allowed it's like, how when you know, and it felt like, okay, this person is okay for me to be me with. And I think she's probably the first person, well, definitely in Tennessee and in my neighborhood, was the first person I ever even told anything about this or me or light language or anything like that. And she, and it was interesting the very first day we met because we were in a party and a bunch of other people were there. And I knew, it was like, I knew, all I did was scan the room and I knew right away, just from across the room, that she was like a soul sister. You know what I mean? It's like, you sort of know the vibration. And I didn't even need them to tell me, to introduce me, to know that that was her. And because they said, oh, Pam's going to be our new neighbor, Pam's going to be at the, the party. And so it was very interesting how that it was like an immediate spark. And I have to say, that has been really a good part of my experience with all of you too. It's like, as soon as we meet, and like Sean, thank you for being here, Sean, shiny Sean. One of the first people I was ever in a hangout with to speak light language and open ourselves to that. And boy, was I scared and nervous. And, and so once I just said, okay, well, if anybody's got anything to say, and I just let it out, and it just started. And so I'm very grateful for those people in my life. And Sean has been just, a part of my shiny life ever since, and it is deep appreciation to have your lovely soul spirit to here today.
Well, thank you very much for everyone that doesn't know me. Hi, I'm Sean. I'm from Ireland, and it's been a pleasure, knowing Wendy for as long as I have. And I wouldn't have gotten to where I currently am at if it wasn't for also Wendy as well. She helped me open up tremendously as well. When Wendy was talking about light languages and the Hangouts, well, I was helping her, but she was also helping me too, to integrate like that feminine aspect of my energy into me. So, I'm highly appreciative of Wendy. I feel like she's like a soul sister to me. And, I just want to say hi, everyone. I wish you all love and light.
Thank you, Sean. And anytime you'd like to share any of your light language, please do. It's always a joy to hear. And that goes for all of you too. If you're unmiked, please do. If you're so guided, go ahead and share a light language blessing if you'd like to just lend your energy and blessings to the space. Anybody else want to say hello?
I'll say hello. I think I've muted myself.
Yep, you're good. Hi, Beverly. So good to see you again.
Hi.
It's been so long.
I haven't got words to describe how you've been off air for 2 years, maybe a bit longer than that. And I think we've all missed it. We've all missed us. We've all missed you.
Oh, thank you.
And everybody else that came into this group, because for some of us, we've been very isolated, not just because of what's happening in the world, but because as the world is awakening, it can be a very lonely place. There's so much going off, and yet it's not a subject you can talk to anybody about.
Right.
Without people misinterpreting you one way or another, or not. But so this is nice. This is nice to be able to come into a forum where we all feel comfortable to show our faces. It doesn't matter what the hair's like, whether there's no makeup on.
Nope.
I'm always sat here with my dressing gown on my bed because it's that time of night in England.
Yep, that's right.
And some of you probably will be in your pajamas because it's morning and it's
Hey, I am wearing my whale jammy pants. Not joking. I'm not joking, because I'm like, I'm going to be comfortable. I'm going to sit in my little space and gather with my friends, and I'm going to be comfortable.
Yeah.
So I am with you. And it's only, it's only what, 2 p.m. here.
That's right. And, following like Dolores on her journey and looking at her videos that she's posted over this last 2 years.
And yes, please do.
Great inspiration.
Thank you for reminding me, Beverly, that you guys too, don't be afraid to share where your YouTube channels are at. And, because that's what this is all about. It's about sharing and expressing ourselves. So yeah, Dolores does amazing videos on her channel. Thank you for bringing that up. So yeah, let everybody know, you guys, if you're out there doing stuff, because we want to share the energy and spread the energy. And I am absolutely amazed, you guys. In 7 years, I can't believe how many people are speaking light languages and doing all this stuff that when I started this, there was just nobody like you. I felt very isolated. And that was back when we first met, like when I met Sean too, that there was like nobody out there doing this or feeling in a place where we could express or even talk about extraterrestrials or our connections to that, or, all the things that are wrapped with all of those things. And so it wasn't just about light language. It was about what it opened me up to. So anyway, thank you for that, because so many people are expressing this now, and that excites me.
Yes. And another thing that I'd like to say, going back to Dolores, because I made a comment privately to this wonderful lady saying, I'd like to meet you one day in person because I feel you've got a lot to teach me. And I didn't quite understand, and I'm not saying I understand everything now, because far from it, the universe is a big place. But there was a realization of what she was saying through her videos, that over the last 2 years, through my own development and trials and tribulations like we've all been through, there's been a realization happening. I can't speak light language, but I certainly, the energies going through my body has been off the scale, incredible, to the point where I'm uncomfortable. It's like, please, no more. I can't take this. My body's just oozing fluid everywhere, and I got so worried about it. I thought, well, what is this? I better go and check it out, make sure that I'm well. Every test came back negative. So from that score, I knew that it had to be something else happening. So, you know, if anybody else has experienced anything like this, you know, I'd like to know. You know, 'cause
Absolutely. Myself included. It has been one of the strangest, and I even caught at the very, very onset. And this was one of the last times we did live videos, you guys, was what, July? Yeah, it's like,
a while ago.
yeah. And I had caught a slight version of COVID. I lost all my taste and smell. It really messed me up psychologically in a lot of ways. And I was applying every tool that I know and teach. And yet it's still, it changed. But yet I will say, as a result, I have a sensitivity and an ability that I didn't have before because of it. So what do so that's a very, very interesting thing that has been a result of that. And I do not discuss any of that, never have on, you know what I mean, in any of my social media or anyway. But so this is the first time I've even mentioned it. So it changed me to a point where it made it very difficult to even eat or talk. It was weird. It was so bizarre. And then us selling the house and getting, it was just the last 2 years have been such a whirlwind. And I think all of us, Beverly, same thing, going through that whole process these last couple of years of everyone, not just because of that, but I think because of the energies. And right now, here we are gathering and then kind of smack in the middle of this Lion's Gate. And this one is special. And I can't even explain why. I can't substantiate a single thing, but yet this feels different today, to this time, this way. And that we were so guided to just do all of this right now. It was like, there was no more waiting. There was no more, it was like no longer waiting for conditions to be absolutely perfect before we act, because every moment is the perfect condition to act. And that's, so we started to realize too that, this is what we really wanted to be doing. And Dave's life has changed in his business world as well, as many have, walking for a variety of reasons, whether businesses have closed or things have changed or whatever the case may be. Many people are walking away from the life that they knew and the way that they did business, the way that they earned a living. And we are the same. So we have completely transitioned our lives into, this is what our highest excitement, this is what we want to do. And so, anyway.
Well, also, as your vibration rises and collectively the vibration rises of the whole planet, there are physical
Absolutely
effects that your body, so your body is used to being in a certain vibration, and as that changes, it has to also acclimate to the higher vibrations. As Wendy, I'm sure, could talk for hours about the idea of our body is made up of mostly water, and water is directly affected by the vibration that you are in. And science has shown that the molecular structure itself changes within the water. So as your vibration increases, the molecules in your body also change. And it's been said, your bodies are literally becoming more crystalline in nature, and the more resistance you have toward that, the more effects you're going to feel. But those effects are there to identify the resistance that you have to it, so you could release those resistances. So, positive way of looking
That's
at it.
yes, absolutely.
Sean just said you can program water, which you
Oh,
can.
yeah.
I know you can program water. There was one lady who brought through Saint Germain, and she programmed the water. You may have
Absolutely.
seen that. You may have seen it because it was on one of the channels.
Well, and if you guys have noticed on what little I do post on Facebook, but I share a lot of Dr. Emoto's work, Masaru Emoto's work, and it continues on to this day. They have water ceremonies all the time. I participate in them. I watch for them. I share the information because it is that important to me to get that information out there, that we need to pay attention to that and pay attention to the power that we have to change the water within our bodies and all of that that comes with it.
And if you speak light language, you could of course speak light language to the water that you're going to be drinking.
You know, that was
But
what I
it
was
doesn't
going
only
to,
have to be light language.
any
It
kind
could
of
be,
intention or energy. I was going
No,
to recommend everybody to grab some water or something to drink before they came into the hangout so that we could do that, that we could all take each other's light languages and empower whatever
our
collective
glasses of
intentions.
water,
Yeah.
and
So,
then drink it.
and then drink it at the end of the hangout. So I thought, I'm so, thank you for saying that. I'm so glad you mentioned that. And it was funny because what you just said, I wrote right before. I wrote raising the consciousness of an entire planet's civilizations and the entire collective consciousness. You know, this is, we did not come here for any easy task. You know, so it's funny because that is what we're doing. So when you said that about, and doing that has its physical effects, and so I thought that was kind of an interesting synchronicity, of course.
I mean, I'm sure that I'm not the only one that's ever sat there and thought, I've really had enough of this. This is too difficult. It's too hard.
Yep.
Why am I here? What is this all about?
Oh, Dave, he's looking at me.
And I think it's a question that
I don't ever say that. No. Never.
Well,
And I think anybody that's never asked that question, they must be very lucky people.
I know. And I think, well, I know. Well, that's the one thing I do have to say about Dave, that he rarely questions those sorts of things and his self-worth. And I'm thinking there must be really something really so wrong with me.
well, I couldn't have met you if I didn't already go through those things.
Well, that's true.
So-
So see, guys, you know.
Yin and yang.
So yeah, I've laid outside under the stars and said, I'm done.
I'm done. Yeah, I just you
Yeah.
lay down. You're like,
Take me now.
this is our buddy. This is our buddy Bashar says. He says, you know what? Count to 10. If you're still breathing, you're not done.
Yeah. My new rhythm with that is, what is this trying to teach me? Because
Yeah.
the question of why, and butting my head up against that question, the question's never answered. So I'm just the madness of this world when it comes in, and what is it trying to teach me? What do I need to know?
Well, and this is a perfect example of, Pam, in your particular situation, you know, how is it that we apply this? What is this trying to teach me? What is this trying to show me? And staying in a state of being when, you know, you have just had a new roof put on and there's like, you know, one leak after the other.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're like, what's all of that about?
And it doesn't have to be that you're in a state of being that you need to be taught a lesson and change.
No.
It could just simply be you're given the opportunity to look at something in a new way.
Yeah.
Yep.
And how I react.
That's it, and how you
And
react.
How you react. Exactly.
So big growth the last couple of years with this vortex of fast moving energy that I think, as you've mentioned, it's just kind of swooped us all up, you know?
For sure.
And one of Bashar's teachings talks about the idea that the human aspect of us is only partially our whole self, and our whole self is really spirit, and we're always spirit, but the human side of things has never been designed and cannot conceive of the hows and the whys of things. We're just here to be the experiencer of these things. So when we start wondering, well, why is this happening and how is this happening? We're not designed to actually understand all that. Our higher mind and our higher self and our larger spirit is taking care of all that. And, you know, they can do their own exploring with us and to decide if they want to figure out the hows and the whys. Supposedly they get that.
Oftentimes I'll start speaking light language
but-
in those circumstances, in that moment where I'm just like, I don't know how else to react. So I'm just going to
Mhm.
do that because it's, you know, and hey, the breathing, you know, the whole thing of, you know, take a breath, walk away, you know, count to 10, all those things, you know, but
Well,
it's beyond that.
And think of the relief that you could have when you choose to decide, I don't need to know how. I don't need
I'm
to
just
know
going to let my
why.
higher mind.
It's the more I release my resistance to needing to know those things, the more the things that we prefer can happen and reveal to us the hows and the whys.
Exactly.
Exactly, but isn't it difficult?
I know, and then all we hear from these our, you know, our spiritual gurus is as well, you know, and I'm not saying that I disagree, but what they say is we are still so powerful, we're creating the very experience of it being difficult. That's the irony of it all. And then we're like, well, okay, wait a second. You know, if I'm creating the experience, like Pam just said, well, how is it serving me? If I'm creating it and I know I'm creating it, then if I can really, really take that quantum leap to look at things from that other perspective, then yes, you start to understand, okay, I am the powerful one here that's creating the experience of this being difficult. How can I change my definition? Because as soon as I change my definition of it, all of a sudden the experience change and the emotions change because the belief changes. And then we're like, oh.
Well, so
Well, that wasn't that hard.
when you practice it with little things,
Yes.
you see that it actually works. And even though it may not seem like all your problems went away, but if you stop, if you start looking at these things that you're defining as problems as not problems, or just don't worry about them, they work themselves out automatically anyway. So then you can start applying that idea of not needing to do something about it, needing to call somebody.
Hey,
Somebody better call somebody. When you
That's what you.
I
that's
get
what you
into
call-
that.
That's what you call focusing on the now and not the past and not the future. This
Exactly.
is what we are trying to teach ourselves. You know, what will be tomorrow will be tomorrow. It hasn't come yet,
No.
or next week, or next
And-
year. We
and-
don't know.
And interestingly enough, the vibration that we're putting out right now creates the reality we see in the next moment.
Mhm.
And we are just not
Yeah.
wanting to hear it.
Well,
Sorry.
and the other interesting thing too, and then I'll be quiet, is that we've put ourselves in a position, and maybe some of you or all of you have too, if you've noticed that some of these things that we're defining as problems, and our first reaction is, well, somebody's got to do something about this, and we've got to call somebody, we've got to do something. And we're finding that these situations there's really nobody to call. We've called the people we wanted to call, and they're not getting back to us. There's nobody left to call. So the only thing left is really releasing the resistance of that, releasing the idea of needing to solve the problem, needing to do something about
Yes.
it. And Abraham even teaches the idea that sometimes when you can't really figure out how to get out of the feelings that you're having, if you just think about something else entirely. That will bring clarity and take you out of the resistance of the thing that
yes.
you're having trouble with. And they don't need to be related. So, you know, so Pam will say she does it all the time. Just put the music on and sing and dance and walk around, and
I'm telling you
and
what,
that
she's
being
the
in that
girl, man.
energy-
I'm telling you. If
So
anybody knows how to Zen, it's you.
well,
I'm not joking.
it's funny. Well, it's not funny, but you see resistance. But when I'm having a problem with my AC and I'm having a problem with my roof, but the other day, last week, I met Shock outside when they came back to do some, anyway, I met it with such resistance because it was a really bad moment. But I found that this work that I've been doing, this self-awareness, I've picked up on that I meet most things with resistance, you know, I think, and that really started blocking a lot of my vibration, I found. And by changing the internal landscape and focusing on what is it trying to teach me, or by staying in the moment, it's lessened the resistance and made more room for, I guess, acceptance. And the number one, I think, goal in life is to be able to walk through or with those moments with a greater sense of equanimity. And
What a good word.
the
Yeah, where's my
vibration,
dictionary?
that middle way, that middle
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
And that has been my mantra for months. So and that applies, I think, changing that vibration is going to the water. I love all these threads, but it's going back to our water. We live on well water, and there isn't a moment that it isn't precious here where we live, you know? And so as I bottle it for my plants, as I consume it, I'm deeply grateful. And all of this stuff, our light languages, are how we connect with the universe in seated prayer or meditation, or
You know, since you mentioned it, I'm going to put you on the spot just a little bit, because when we met, and I did and I didn't really hesitate very long to tell you what was going on in my life and speaking light languages and YouTube channel and all that. And it was interesting because then didn't you mention to me, didn't you, that didn't you do it also as a child?
what, water?
No, speaking light language.
Light languages, no.
Or that, no, you had, I'm sorry, excuse me. You had an experience. That's what I was thinking about, is that it was interesting that then you had told me that later on that you had thought that you had like a contact experience, is what I'm saying.
I'm pretty certain that I did.
And so that would also lend to the idea that we would end up, out of all places and where to live in the world, that you and I would end up in the same place, was, that incredible to me. And then to find out too that, that you had, which you don't have to get into right now, but it allows people to see too, that sometimes we don't even remember or even talk about those things to anybody until somebody steps up and says, oh, well, this is what I am, and this is what I do, and this is how I, and I believe in extraterrestrials, and I do this and that. So that's a message to all of us through light language too, to express yourself in those, in all of those ways. And you definitely express yourself in a lot of artistic ways, and
it's funny, Wendy, because it's not something that I told but a handful of people throughout my life, because they're going to think I'm nuts that I was 5-6 years old. And I definitely had something happen. And my path has never been, well, I don't know what the normal path is, but I've had a lot of amazing and very strange things happen throughout my life and experiences, and in a realm, in a more mystical way. And to go through that for another 50 some years, by the time I meet you here behind this gate in the middle of no place, and to have such a connection, and your connection with the stars, and this connection that I have, that was a seed planted long ago.
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
And meeting you and all the other things, this is the place that I'm supposed to be right now, and sharing in some aspect that experience.
Pam has a beautiful garden and grows beautiful food, and cooks beautiful food, and and makes a person.
I'm a nurturer by nature.
She's very, I mean, it's just so wonderful to be nurtured in her little space there. And, you know, you get to pick your own dish and your own cup and whatever excites you, and decorate the table. And I was just a whole experience just having dinner with you.
Well, come on.
So, yes, we will. Yes, we're going to see you very soon. Yes, we are.
You're very lucky, because you get a lot more land than what we do here. You know, we get these beautiful houses with tiddly gardens. We can't, mine is just a garden because it's not big enough really to grow anything in. It's not, you know, it's all shady in the winter. I don't get any sun because it's so tiny.
And it's just been amazing how many people have really started, you know, doing that in even the smallest of spaces. So whatever you can do, even if it's growing like one herb, you know, if that's all you got to do. You know what I mean?
Have
it's like,
herbs. I do have herbs.
So, you know, like, so no matter what it is that we can do, it still supports that vibration. So it's amazing that to see all these people now doing all this amazing gardening. And I'm telling you guys, I don't know what's been going on the last 2 months, but I keep dreaming about gardening and permaculture and creating organic food. And I know it has everything to do with this next phase we're going into as a collective, and preparing for the hybrid children, and preparing ourselves, you know, for you know, purifying our which again, we do not change the planet we're on, but we change our vibration to move to the version of the planet that is more in line with that core vibration, which is cleaner air, clean water. And if you guys watch my videos, you know, I just did, and I've done multiple videos about water. And so yes, the same thing about blessing the water coming out of the ground and so forth. But anyway, we could talk about all kinds of things. I just want to make sure, I want to see if anybody else also is. Well, Beverly, is there anything else you'd like to add at the moment? And then see if anybody wants to chat.
I would like to say something, but I cannot go to the room for quite some time. Okay. Malaya hatrande akaramanta. Devahatya no kire ehatna. Nilo adharamane. Shambhavahya na kia tehera. Lilo adha marananae. Mengi adhayana shandanane e. Kiramadha no akya etkena. Erbavathe analara anga adhaye adhandananasha. Miro ethaye. Lihiena lavaranane. Eyo ahata kyananaha. There is no beginning, and there is no the end. Mervaha kilara anate. Shanakaya tihe anna anaharakyatahanaha. I have no name, but all names are mine. Tihore kyatan dishanana. Tihore eakyantaram bhavanahatya ketashnananaha. I have no form, but all forms are mine. Tina etheia kihamara manatie, tiha ene ekara alehiat nanaha, shana ethae, shana vahya amaramanati hekata. There is no beginning and there is no the end. Tera ekiat na shandananaha, balhaman nikata hayanehe. Why? Who is asking why? Who is that? Who is asking any questions? Any question in your existence as a human being? Pero ana ela etendikaya naha. Pero vahya ena kiat naha naha. You cannot live otherwise than in now. You are all living in one moment, which is now. Mirahandya hendaka et hayana shandanaha. Change your focus and you will see the truth. Piramahe ekana et handanashana kayatehe. Shere et hanayaka. Shere et hayanaka. Milaheyo nehetekandanashaha. There is only one. Tirhi anakyatashna nahataha. Human form has only one purpose. Pirena tarene kihanda handanaha. To serve, to see, to touch, to feel, to hear, to express of who I really am, Parahamba Dahanda Katyanaha, and to show me in return knowledge or awareness who I really am, Piramane Ethaya, Kiehyatna, Tikiehyatna, Shirnahatahana Kayaha. Who is talking? Paramanahaya Keha. Who is feeling? Paramanahaya Kalaranaha. Who is creating? Karhandataha Yatnaka. Everything is already created. Tashina Athenna Kemaramanamahatyanake. Otherwise, you will not be able to experience anything. Parahane Ekiata Athashana Pirhamana Abaha Akia Atnana Shatraha. Everything already is. Paramanahi Yakadna. Pishi Tatana Tirhekya Hananaha. There is no beginning and there is no the end. Tirhe Akaye et Harayana Shana. Lihi Akatana Ekatana Taramanaha. So every information which is coming outside, as you believe that outside world exists at all, and which is coming within or from within you, has only one purpose. Pirhentnaya Tishanganahanaha. To show you who you really are, to wake you in awareness of your truth. Pirhe etana ketshanaha. Pirhyana athana. You can continue to telling your story of who you are, but the story is just a story. Tihane ekatnaya hatashananaha. Beautiful, magnificent stories which we all are experiencing. Parhyana nahataha. But there are only stories. Taya atkiat nanaha. We are not our stories. Pirama athana iklaraha shananaha. Pirheya kiana etha avahatnanaha. We can enjoy in everything we believe in that is reality. Parhana athaya shanahata kiatna. But that is not our truth. Parhyana kiahadnanaha. Human form has only one purpose. Paramanahatikaha. To show to us who we really are. Penana atyanakaha. Ways are infinitive. Parhana ketarna. Forms are infinitive. Parhana elhetikayana. Names are infinitive. Tirhena athayana he. Ways are infinitive. Parhana alaraya ketahanaha. Who am I? Tishena athyane. Who am I? Tihara hana hatyana. Who is that one who is experiencing karaha? Who can see? who can hear, who can talk, who can feel, and who can love. Pirha Adheya Andashananaha. Is there anything outside of love? Parhanya Adhyata Shananaha. Love Parhyana Eka Adhani Shananaha. Love you all. Namaste.
So much love and gratitude. What a beautiful message. Nishimiyata Vishamayata Vihino Goyasha Sasituria Vakoshavihila Kisime Suvaresha Sina. In the Nyana Vakadoki of Ononuyaka Tevalkoshe, Lehanonoyakalaki, Devi Sopore Veshisana. So Ontoya Kibesho, Onoya Haivakoe, Soporo Ushi Inya. And so eloquently and beautifully and expansively expressed. In the Kilevish and Niata Nikiashana Sase. And if you're new to the channel, Dolores and I also met through the beauty of light language. And it was also one of those moments where she started speaking light language, and that was it. There was that immediate connection and knowing, and we both knew it was very ancient. And that's the word we actually used, and whether or not that actually means anything in linear thinking, but we knew the oldness of our meeting, that this was a reunion, and yet it felt as if we had known each other from long ago. So that happens a lot with us with light language, and it was actually a very extraordinary experience. And there was a lot of people in that hangout, because it was a global hangout that I did a couple of years back, and so it was very interesting to have so many people in that event, and yet how many of us have continued on, with the relationships and people that we met. And you're probably one of the few people, and I mean like on less than a handful really, and probably one of the only people really that I still interact with, to this day, and still watch your work and see what's going on and think about you all the time and wonder about you and wonder how you're doing. And so it's definitely been a connection from the moment that we met that day. It was a lot of light languages happening that day and a lot of activations, and it was really an amazing global event, and I was very happy to participate in that.
Thank you. I see today at those experiences a little bit different, because many things happened and I experienced so many deep awareness of so many things. And now I could say, even though words cannot explain it completely, I could say that because there is only one and there is only now, it can be say through human mind that one part of me met another part of me and recognized each other. Yes.
That's a really good way of putting it. Wow.
Yes, because when you experience awareness of who you truly are, you see there is nothing outside of you exist, nothing at all, and that everything your human senses was telling that it's another, it's other, is there, it's here, doesn't really exist. Everything is within me. Everything is really just within me. And to change focus or place from which you are perceiving through your senses world, it is really I cannot find the word, amazing and wow moment. We used to, I believe many of us used to using okay sentences we heard from anywhere as ours, but those sentences isn't our really truth nature and isn't really ours. And to questioning every teachings, every teacher, every gurus, and to see, does it or does them really coexisting with your true nature, with your first personality and then your truly being, that in that moment you can start really your way of becoming aware of who you really are. Otherwise, they are just story your mind is telling, and you are giving to your mind energy of living in this Maya reality. So I am now, because of experience I went through last few years, I see many things different, really different. And I do not have, as I see it now, I cannot say that it would not be otherwise, it will not be changed, but as I see it now, I do not have any wish. Life is that one who puts things to be done in front of me, and life shows me every moment or each moment what to do. I'm open to be channel of anything what wants to come through me, what wants to come through me. And is it light language? Is it something else? Doesn't matter. I'm trying to be really open to everything life wants for me to live. So each moment, as each information, as each experience and what's happening is here just to wake me in my true awareness of who I really am.
Well, that was very wow. I'm not even sure how to explain how that was. Yes. Wow. Amazing.
Well,
Thank
as
you.
you redefine yourself
Yes.
and as you become the you that you want to be, you're also creating an appropriate past experience that matches the you that you are now. So of course, you're going to have the opportunity to look at all things that brought you to that point from your now perspective. And you could choose what's important, what's not important to you for your now. Of course, all the experiences are for your own growth and expansion and exploration.
I do not have to be anything. I do not have a wish to be anything. I do not know, my mind, my person cannot know what is the best way for me. I really cannot. So I am not trying to be anything. I'm just trying to know myself. Because on the other side, I am everything that already exists. So
Very
I
true.
really do not, yes, I really do not try to be anything because I am everything. And when you change your focus, you can see that usual perceptions people have changed No, it's changing a lot because you can see from the same thing differently, and there is no right and there is no wrong. Really, there is no left and there is no right. I can see it now. Before I couldn't see it, but really, if you allow life to lead you, you stepped in front it with really faith and trust, and you are not asking yourself, is it right or is it wrong? And you have completely open your possibility to see, not just through your eyes, but to see with capability of seeing, which is coming through from that who you really are. Things starts to change, because in last year I lost so many, really so many. First I lost my husband because of COVID, and then after him I lost so many things. I am now totally alone here in place where I am living, and because I said to myself many years, decades ago, that I really want to know myself and to become aware who I really am. Life now supports me very much.
See what you created for yourself?
Now I do not have any wish. But I am as Dolores, my person, my human form, still wish to become what I already am, and this is a catch. Because yes, I already am what I believe that I need to become. So we already are on the goal. We already are. We already have everything we need. We believe that we need or that we wish, and so on and so on and so on.
I think you definitely speak for all of us and everything that you said today, that really that is what it is that just knowing myself is all there is. It's just and who Sean, we are experience to experience. And for all of you just watching Dolores, you're still in Croatia, I assume.
Yes, I am. I'm at the same place.
Same place. So
yes.
So
I don't believe that I will move, or I don't have money for that.
So I just wanted to, this is one of the things that I love, is sharing where people are from. And it's so exciting for me that people come from really literally all over the globe. And we're all the same, we're all the same inside. And this is where, we realize exactly when you realize that everything is just perfect as it is, and it's only our perception and our definition of it, it literally does change everything. It changes your life.
And then you see, or you can see, I believe that everyone is possible to see it, only through eyes of love.
Yes, I agree.
Even though your personality, your person is in process of grieving, suffering, but on the other side, there is nothing but love.
Absolutely true. And my mother just transitioned a couple of weeks ago also, and it really does, it just changes a lot of that. When our lives change like that, it literally alters our perception of our own realities. And so I think that a lot of people across the world over the last couple of years can definitely speak to the heart mind that you speak of, in a lot of ways. I've seen, and really that's why we all collectively co-created this experience here on Earth together, was so that we could truly explore what you just explained and realize that about ourselves.
Majority of people here on Earth are still experiencing humanity or human beings separated from each other, but we are not.
No, we are not.
All one. The humanity is one being, but our mind believes that we are separated, but we are not. And when we would be aware of it, the heaven on earth will come, but it's also just an illusion. But
Well-
we can experience it, we can play it, why not? There is nothing bad in experiencing of everything you can experience. So experiencing it with joy and peace and love, so why not?
So since we create our own reality and really making this all up within ourselves, the perception that others are not up to speed on the idea is also something we're creating ourselves.
Yes.
Isn't that
Yes.
funny?
Yes,
Isn't that,
yes,
that's
yes,
the
yes,
beauty
yes.
of it all.
Right? Yes.
That's it.
So
It is.
exciting.
It is.
They're all different potentials, aren't they? The realization that life is potential, is a potential energy. You know, we are creating these things from potentials, and the greatest potential then flourishes forwards into an idea, into realization, into fulfillment, fullness.
But on the
Life-
other side, everything is already created and we are just experiencing it now.
Isn't it crazy? I know. It's like we can't even wrap our minds.
Well, we can't imagine these things if it doesn't already exist.
Yes,
We're not capable of
yes,
being in that reality.
yes.
Right? Yep.
every thought, be it a good one or a bad one, is already playing itself out.
Yeah.
And then when we sleep, we are doing everything, the same thing in a different reality, in a different realm. It's
Oh yeah, totally.
always on.
And yet it's our unlimited selves in our dream states, and then we come here to play the limited game. It's very interesting.
So how much important is light language now?
Well, you know that
I love light language, so I'm experiencing it in so many
I
ways
know.
and I enjoy it. But how really important is light language?
You know, that's really funny you said that, because I've been exploring the same thing. I have. Yeah.
Well, so in a bigger sense, everything is equal and everything
Yeah.
is
Yep.
value. So if it's
Yeah.
It's all
to
equal
you,
value. Exactly.
then
The answer is always
Ex-
going to be the same. If it brings you joy, then there's a reason why it does. And then if it doesn't, it just doesn't anymore. And that's okay too.
and it doesn't have
Yeah.
to matter why.
It doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Right. And so we evolve. And I've seen, you know, honestly, I have seen people who, when I very first started this whole journey with, you know, light language and channeling and all that, there's a few people that no longer do light language publicly and for a variety of the same reasons. They've integrated what they needed to get from it. They have shared they've taken it as far as they can take it until they could take it no further. And then it became a part of them and a part of who they are. Yet it no longer became necessary for them to put it out there to the world. It just was no longer necessary. And not that they don't use it or practice it in their own lives, which they do, and which I do. That has also been, you know, a question. So you know what, it really just it does depend on where you're looking at it, what perspective that you're looking at it from. And it's just pretty much like Dave just said, everything is equal. And
Yes.
if we feel that there is some value in it, or even if it's not a consciously, oh, I feel this is very, valuable, so therefore I must share. I think that is, what's the word I'm looking for? Really transmuting and transforming, in that people are realizing, and myself included, that it opens up a lot of gates.
Uh,
It can.
yes, as I see it now, when you are perceiving or watching or looking at from awareness of who you really are, you can see that light language is perfect way or instrument of universal mind who can help your mind to quiet. So the resistance to what is now in your personal life is smaller, not so big, and you can open the doors you were talking about. So light language is really, really, for me, good usable tool. So why do not use it?
Right. And that's
And yes, from first day when I started to speak, actually sing light language, till now, my perception of light language changed a lot.
yeah, me too.
But I love it still, and why do not? Because I'm not as I was not before. In a place that I say, okay, now I will speak, now I will paint, now I will sing light language. No, the impulse comes in who knows which moment, and then I start. So
Yep.
I'm just, yes, my person, my human form is just an instrument through which light language is coming. And I'm not thinking why or
No.
when, no, because my human mind cannot know it, cannot.
Yep.
My human mind isn't able to, doesn't, how to say it, doesn't have capacity to see or know, understand outside of its limits. So I can see it, I can understand. My human mind or my person, Dolores, cannot.
Yes.
But it
I
is,
think that's why I had to stop asking why and what's this,
no.
yeah, it
I can say or a question because my husband and I had at the same time COVID, and he didn't survive. I survived. So why? You can tell your story. You had agreement before you came here. You had ordered. Who knows?
right.
Doesn't matter. I'm here now, even though that here. Where is that here? I'm always here. Wherever my body is,
Yeah,
I'm always now.
and
So,
Yeah, keep talking.
yeah.
Keep talking.
that's the way.
No te ento jako inti asha supore kishis yana. Ito gan and diva suporoshis yana unto ko inki asha supore vishsene. Sikadondori ishaso unuma elokiteve quinta ite suporofashos soni tiaro. And I will say it is a joy for any of you guys watching out there that it's really a joy to be with someone also who shares this love and excitement and wonder and wanting for the higher consciousness, wanting the idea of expansion and doing it together. And it's pretty extraordinary experience for me, I have to say. So it's once when you change your vibration and you change your insistence upon anything, how things could turn out, should turn out, it again, it opened up the door to me meeting all of you, to me meeting Dave. I've probably said this 1,000 times. So it definitely is, and it was, is, and continues to be in our idea of linear time, definitely a beautiful tool of communication. And as you said, the ability to channel universal love and the light of I find myself lately, especially these last month or two, finding the words, the physical words to express the things that I'm feeling and saying, and comprehending. And oh, I wanted to say hi to everybody who's been hopping in. I just realized we've got more people coming in. Hi, Liliana, Stara. Hello, my girl. I haven't seen you in forever. So good to feel and see your energy. Oh my God. We've done some events. So we did a couple events together, at least one. And it was just such a beautiful time. Thank you. And Liliana, oh my God, Liliana.
Nice to see you too.
Are you still in Arizona?
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
New Mexico. That's what I was going to say first.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's been ages. See, this is what I love. I'm so so wonderful to see all of you guys and join me. We haven't talked in so long.
Yes. I was glad to see that you were going to do this today. Thank you for doing this, Wendy. I was just looking forward to come here.
Oh, I'm so excited. I do. I love to see you too. And I want to say hi to everybody out watching on YouTube. And Kamal says, what an amazing Friday night for meeting people like you. It's also amazing to meet you. And again, if you guys are new to the YouTube chat, you can go to the description in the video, which will take you to the link to my website. So you can register and grab the Zoom link if you still want to hop in. We always set a time and then we never really stick to it because it always is about who comes in and what's the energy going. And so it's beautiful to see your wonderful face. And I'm so happy to see you beaming here today.
I was just last night. I was just like putting everything. Okay, I got it. Put it on my phone so I don't forget. And I don't remember at 3 in the afternoon. Oh my God, the meeting. The Zoom call.
Well, good. I'm so glad. And I have to thank Dave too. He's been working on my website and changing things and updating things and fixing some issues that we were having. And so it's so nice to be able to be a little bit more automated and have at least emails sent out to people and reminders. And so I'm excited to also be with somebody who's very technically inclined and loves building websites and doing all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I have to brag on him a little bit. So it's made my life a lot easier too with someone who knows how to do those things, because honestly, most of us, I guess that's not really a very valid thing to say. A lot of us that want to share and do things in the spiritual world and aren't always as computer savvy and don't have those skills necessarily, or actually even though I do and can, it's not my highest joy and excitement. So it's not that I can't, but he's way better at it and way faster at it. And so I just want to, put a shout out to him too, and to let all of you guys know too, that, he's at your service for, setting up websites and a little bit, a lot of it, all of it, parts of it, maybe the parts you can't program, whatever. He's really, really an excellent programming guru. So
Awesome.
So yes, I appreciate that you took the effort to actually make sure it was in your calendar.
And I am working on something right now. It's just like, okay, I gotta stop. I gotta go.
Aww.
I'm painting. Look at this. I am painting. I'm
Oh.
halfway. That's the reason I'm like, you know what? I don't want it, but whatever, I am painting. Like,
This is
okay, I
why
gotta
we
stop
love
now.
this, because we don't care. We don't care if you've been in the garden. Did you take a shower? Who cares? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. And this is the beauty of being all over the world, because I know that you guys are, it's, in other parts of the world, it's getting late, it's in the evening. So that's one of the reasons why I like to time these things the way that I do, so that I can try to catch everybody who can get the from the West Coast all the way to the other side of the world. So I appreciate all of you guys, staying up late and being here with us, and all the times you've done it before, even though, there is no past.
And for those of you on YouTube watching that don't want to be on camera, I'm going to remind everyone again, if you're just joining us, that we do plan to have these kind of events private. And we'll be providing a little bit more information about that, but go to Wendy's website.
And then we'll always be
languagesoflights.com.
adding new events. We're going to be adding a bunch of stuff and new events and stuff to do, and just things that I've been wanting to do that for for years, or things that I used to do that I want to still do again. And, much like these light languages, hangouts and stuff. So we're pretty excited about that. And so, yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to everybody out there watching on YouTube, and whether you're live or not, keep checking back. We also post a lot of videos and stuff. So yeah, just keep watching.
And we also want to show and express our appreciation to everyone who is here on video, because we're setting examples for everyone watching, us being us, that you don't have to be concerned and have any fears about the idea of being on video in public, because as Dolores said, it's all only you anyway. So you don't have to worry. You don't have to have those fears. And if you have those fears, the easiest way to move out of that is to just do it scared.
That's how I did it. And I just used those words yesterday to somebody about doing it scared. So, and that really is it. And again, you don't have to be on camera if you don't want to. You could talk without your camera on. And actually, that's one of the first steps to getting over that, is just to talk, and you don't need to be seen necessarily.
Yeah, and if you want to say something, just speak up, interrupt us.
It's I like that the process to how we got here, going through your website and registering for the Zoom, because it creates better continuity of conversation if you don't have an interloper.
I'm so glad you said that, Pam, because one of the things that we're intentionally going for is this idea of then when we do events, the people that are in the event then can connect with each other. You can talk to each other through the website. You can, go, oh, I was in that event, and comment to each other and meet each other around the world. And because maybe somebody who's watching, maybe you live in New Mexico or Alabama or Tennessee, or you live in Croatia, or you live in the UK, or you live in Australia. I am so blessed to have friends all over the world. I can't even tell you guys how it blows my mind. And so, yeah, but yet there's also the idea that people want to be off camera, not worry about it. And so I want to be able to accommodate all of those things, and the way that I can, and still, do all the things that I want to be doing, in all the ways that I want to be doing them. So it's a good way for me to also expand, what we're doing. So yeah, we're very excited about that. And again, this is, the idea, I think really the message for the last couple of years has been, for most of us, are you really doing what you love? And if you're not, what fears are holding you back? And yes, light language helps with all of those, but as Dolores said too, that it's kind of beside the point. It's that is where we're all moving to, is that the more we share and do these things and go do it scared, be public with each other, that we're giving each other permission to say, you know what, I don't like what I'm doing. And And how can I move through those limiting beliefs, whatever tools we use, whether it's light language or anything, how do we move through that in order to literally become knowing all more and more of all that we are, or knowing that we are everything already. And yes, that this is just an experience. And if it's just an experience, then why not experience it? You know?
Yeah. Without honesty with yourself, you cannot move. And maybe, as I see now, to be open publicly means that you are open to yourself completely. In a way.
Absolutely. Because like
So,
there is nobody else out there but you.
yes,
You're being open to yourself.
yes. And to show other parts of yourself who you are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. To know thyself. That was like my one mission, if you will, when I started my channel, was so that everybody could know themselves more fully, just like I was learning and exploring. And then I even did a 49-day challenge years ago with based on a Bashar's event. He presented these tools, and that's what it was called, Know Thyself. So talk about doing it scared. Oh my God, you guys, it was when I very first started doing videos and doing like live stuff. And I did it this live thing all by myself for 7 weeks. And I was terrified, absolutely terrified, because there was nobody there I knew. It was very, very, talk about opening myself up to, and I've actually been thinking about doing it again, because in my new light, in my new energy, in my new me, from my new perspective now. But yeah, the point is that was the whole point. That was the whole idea, is that this is why we came to experience, to know ourselves.
As I could remember to mention that I'm speaking light language. Wow. Many months passed. So I believe that for many of us is the similar way of recognition and make publicly your light language. So it's human way. Why not?
And
But
again,
we are not-
I want to point out to you guys too that, not everybody not everybody speaks light language, and that's okay.
it's okay.
The point is that you're here to experience our experience, whether you want to do it, don't want to do it, you want to be activated by it, you want to see, and I guarantee you, every time we do these hangouts, I get all kinds of messages, and it happens to me too. I mean, I get messages from other people saying, oh my God, this happened to me, or I dreamt this, and I dream about you guys all the time. I mean, where we are in, and I don't know if you guys have had this experience lately, but I have been dreaming for years and a lot more lately about all of us being together, like we're in a house together, or we're in an event together, or we're at I can't even explain sometimes
Conference centers.
Yes,
and
conference centers. And it is so bizarre. And so I know that we're doing this
spaceships.
Definitely on ships, definitely. And even though I don't always talk about all of it, that's another thing too, is that a lot of this stuff I don't get the opportunity to share to share. So I'm also creating my own, my own pretend platform to learn more about myself, in sharing some of these experiences and our dream experiences and things like that. And a lot of people maybe not want to talk about their dreams necessarily out in public. So that's another one of the things that I thought would be fun to explore is, what are we all dreaming? I dream about so many of you so often. And I'm recognizing our energies in my dream state, as if I'm literally waking up in the dream, that we're literally like when we're losing the definition between the states of being and literally realizing that this is the dream, but we're waking up in the dream. And as you said, Dolores, waking up to the idea that I am all of it. I am all things. And this is where I've come to have this particular experience.
But next step is that I am also doesn't exist. Already, what is already is. I am is also mind thing, but true that I am. You came to awareness of everything.
Well, there's probably another version of you.
No, there is in that stage there are no versions. That just is what is.
Well, there's
Okay, we can now.
you're simultaneously having that you're probably thinking, oh, I wonder what Bev is doing right now.
My person cannot go there yet. But I would like it very much.
Well, your person might not be able to, but your consciousness as your person now.
Yeah. But I'm speaking now through my person, limited person. Okay. If you want, or you allow me, I would like to share one of my last recordings. Just a song. Would you like to hear it?
Oh, sure. I want to say hi too to Indigo Blue out there. Daniel. Oh, we got a question to answer from Daniel. So that's interesting. No, I have never heard that, Daniel. And
So Daniel says, question from YouTube. Found out recently that the design, the circle of life, is actually the daisy of death. Why not? They flip just about everything else. Any input? Well, I mean,
I heard that too.
It's what? I didn't get that.
I didn't hear that. What was it?
the daisy of death.
is actually the daisy of life, and which is also the daisy of death. But you know what? The thing is, you guys too, there is no death. There is no effing death. Okay.
I wanted to say the same thing. Yeah.
You can call the symbol whatever you want. It's okay.
It's our bodysuits.
It's, you know what?
Life exists just in mind.
Life, right? We know that. We know that death is just a renewal of life. So what the hell difference does it make if you call this the daisy of life or the flower of life or the flower of death? Because in the end, it means the same thing. And so really, that's my immediate, and I don't know if I'm talking, who's talking, but the idea is that, you know, and this is not even an opinion of mine, because I don't even have an opinion about it, because I've never even heard about that.
Well, and also since everything is energy and they come through as to us as symbols, and like I was saying the other day, symbols are all metaphors, and all metaphors are paradoxes, and all things are a stick that you're observing, and you get to choose what part of the stick you want to look at. So the flower of life is one end of the stick, and the other end of the stick could be the daisy of death. And they're all one,
but it's all the same stick.
And it's all the same stick. And it's all just a metaphor anyway. For
It's all the same highway.
Haven't you guys heard that same thing about the peace sign, that it used to be the other way, upside down, with the, you know, with the holding, going this direction instead of down, and somebody changed it because they wanted to throw some negative connotation on it. And I'm like, you know, I honestly, I just sort of heard it and I went, you know, I don't really care. So it's like, however I want to use it in my intention. And you know what? That's the bottom line, you guys. I'm going to do a whole different video on this, because I'm going to go on a tangent. But this whole idea of symbols and tattoos and what things mean, and that I'm exploring more and more of that, because of some questions that have come up from people sending me questions privately about different things and about symbols, because I've been writing symbols for so many years. And so
I see Don is in YouTube.
Yeah, hi Don. So I think it's really just, how do you feel about it? How do you want to use it? How do you want to resonate with it? And we know that about what we now understand as the swastika. Okay, we know that is not the original.
Where's she gone?
She's frozen.
Well,
Collective. That the
Yeah,
idea
she
of
froze up. There she is.
Ah, she came. Again frozen.
she's frozen. She's gone.
We'll come back.
yeah.
Coming back. I see.
Okay.
You gotta say that again, Wendy, because you
Sorry,
got
I just
frozen.
realized. Yeah, I just realized we like buzzed out for a second there.
That's all right. We threw a party.
I was like, wow, where'd everybody go?
We just completely
Oh,
switched reality.
I was just saying about the meaning of the swastika and the meaning of the peace sign and how it has evolved and changed, and for whatever reason, but that is not its original intention. If you look at those symbols when they're, when they were first, given to us, but that was not their intention. So it again, it's really about the idea of, and I was going to say too, about exploring the idea of, people have asked, well, what's the best symbol for light workers to tattoo on myself? Well, that's it. It's an easy answer, but it's also a little bit more complex answer, because there is no one answer. And you, as many of you, and this is part of light language. So, I can't use this one. That's for someone
What's the
else.
best of anything?
Yeah, exactly. So you're looking at these symbols and it's like, okay, I created these. Is there a specific meaning to each one? Is there, I am not certain, but what I know is that when something comes through, I can have an emotional reaction to it. It will take me to different places in my, I guess, my metaphysical awareness, I guess. And I've explained a couple of times in several of my videos about how when I do receive these, now anyone's welcome to use any of these symbols in any way that they desire. Because that's why I put them out there for people to use them, so that you can use them in whatever way, print them, use them in whatever way you're guided. But I was explaining to someone too about how each one of these can potentially be an entire story. It could be a particular being's story. It could be an entire civilization story. It could be the Akashic records of an entire civilization and the story of their whole planet. So when we're looking at them, we're literally absorbing the information of the interaction, and it literally becomes a part of our being, and we use it and unpack it, I guess, in any way that our consciousness wishes to. And so the idea is that we can intend to create a symbol, and many of you here do these types of things, and creating light code arrays and light codex arrays, and the idea that any of us can intend to say, I would like to create a symbol for myself or someone else, with the intention that it represents XYZ. And you fill in the XYZ. It is your intention that gets placed into that symbol, and the meaning then of your intention, when that is viewed in public or wherever, by other people, your intention of that symbol is conveyed, period. Trust yourself.
As you can give a meaning of each symbol you wrote or draw, you are giving meaning to anything in your life every day. And at the end of the day, what is meaning?
Right. That's true too. What is meaning?
How many people, how many us are now on Earth? 7 or 8 billions? How many? so many meanings for
Yeah.
so many things. So
And
who can
all-
say
all-
what do you
right.
mean? Yeah.
I mean, all 8 billion people on this planet have their own perspective. Not only
Yeah.
the 8 billion people on this planet, everything in creation always, always, always is only ever going to have its own perspective.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of creation.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of sharing. It's not about you need to think this way, you need to think that way. This country has to think this way. It's not about that. It's about understanding. Yes, it's all equal experience, and there is no reason to, well, when it comes down to it, no reason to fight about it.
Flower of life.
So I
No,
hope
and
that
then-
answers the question. If it doesn't, please, and anybody else, please give input. I
The
don't
other side of that too is that we can create all these meanings and have all these intentions, but everybody's going to receive it in their own way as well,
Yeah.
right? Because
Oh,
you said we
that's
have our
so
own
true.
experience and perspective.
Yeah.
So it's more important to feel the feeling of whatever it is we have attached to meaning and care only about that for us, and know that that could change and will change because we are always evolving and changing our perspective and all the layers, and worry more about that, right? So because we can have all these beautiful intentions, or we can have negative intentions, or we can have in between intentions, and every single living thing is going to receive that in their own way based on their own knowing of thyself or their own perspective. So we can't focus too much on that meaning, because then we just get stuck in the loop of wanting other people to know us the way that we know us, but then we're trapped again in that 3D 2D thinking, how we know ourselves, and if a symbol is that way, that is the most important, and then that will eventually catch on. But we can't control other people's receiving and perspective, right? So it's interesting that I'm intrigued that you're getting those emails from people wanting your input on the best symbols of something. That's very interesting. And I would love to see a whole video of you focusing on that, because it's such a big topic.
And that is kind of the gist of the answer. I mean, the answer is still the answer, but giving people permission to say, okay, wait a second, I can make that symbol mean anything I want to make it. And because because of my intention, that is the intention that will be conveyed. And that is it's kind of like saying, like, something just popped in my head. It's kind of like saying to somebody, well, what's the universal meaning of a sunflower? Well, to who? I mean, to who? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to me? To me, it means, it's a symbol of creation, of that we're all from the same flower, that we just learned there's 1,000 flowers within a sunflower. Inside the sunflower is 1,000 more flowers. So I never knew that, not really, not that way. So that, and I've always used the sunflower as the symbol of the idea of, that's what sort of in my mind's eye, how I see all of creation, and that we're all flowers within the same big flower, or the leaves on the tree, that although our perspectives may be from different places and we still may not see where our roots are at, but we're all still the same one big sunflower, but we're all seeing it from a different spot. So very simple analogies and metaphors, but yet very complex, that we see every time we're in nature. And I'm sure, and I know that all of you, a star is outside. I'm like, if I could be outside doing this, I would be. So yeah, anybody else, input on any of this, symbols or anything else that we've been talking so far? If you'd like to share any comments or light language or anything at all, please feel free.
I've got little something to share. Every time I get with you, Wendy, I haven't had any visuals for 2 years. It went dead, blank. And then 48 hours ago, I had 3 visuals come through, which I didn't even know I was going to participate in this tonight, because I hadn't signed up. You'll know that I signed up at the last minute. So 48 hours ago, I got my first visual come through, which was a silver birch tree. Now, I've just looked that up online. The silver birch tree, it was a long line of silver birch trees, is one of the most sacred trees in the Celtic mythology, symbolizing new beginnings and protection. This association derives from ancient times before the written word, when the sacred silver birch was associated with the Celtic goddess Brigid. I've got the hair standing up on my legs.
Oh my God.
Shaven at the time. So that was the first visual that came through to me. The second visual was actual visual. I've never experienced this before. Stood in my kitchen. This was yesterday morning. And you know how you're thinking to yourself, you're in your own world. And I just looked at the tap and there was a drip, one drip hanging off the end of the tap. And as I looked at it, it changed colour. It went red. The drip went red. And I looked at it and I moved my head and it went back white, clear. And as I moved my head again, it went red again. And I moved and it went clear. And I looked at it and it was red. It was like red currant red. It was vibrant. It was buzzing. So I got my camera and I tried to catch it on my camera, and it wasn't having anything. It just came out white. So I obviously didn't want it to be caught on camera. And so I wasn't quite understanding what that meant. And then I had the third vision come through last night. And well, this morning, actually. And I woke up with Freddie Mercury singing Love of My Life to me. But the visual he sent me was, I want to break free. And it was Freddie Mercury in his outfit as the woman in that video. Just his face came right up to me, but he was singing Love of My Life.
Aww.
So I was trying to put the three together, because these things always happen when I'm near you. So, you know, I think you're a great influence, and I've been feeling energy. I don't speak light language, but my energetic level is moving. It's shifted. Something has shifted. And so the energy that is pulsating through my body, when Dolores was speaking light language, my nose wouldn't stop moving, you know? And then
that was happening to me yesterday.
Yeah, and then I got a sharp pain in my head. And I feel like my face is starting to distort. I mean, that's her energy coming, whatever she's transmitting was coming straight towards me. It was really quite powerful.
You gave me the visual of like when a dog's outside and the wind's blowing his skin back.
Yeah. So it just so happens that, well, like, can you see that?
Yes. I gotta put my glasses on. Book Freedom.
Yeah. So that's a book that I happen to be reading at the moment, and it's quite intense. So I only read like a couple of 3 things a night, you know. It's Paul Selig. So, you know, freedom, I want to break free. The Book of Freedom is all about that I am, you know, whatever is within. But it was the drip of red that I couldn't, the symbolization of the drip. And I thought, well, let's talk about it. What is the color red? What does red symbolize? There's lots of things it symbolizes, from blood, anger, courage. And it's also tied in with Christ energy, frequency.
Well, and it's also, of course, obviously, it's also the color of the root chakra.
Yes,
so,
that was the other one that root chakra.
So perhaps there was, and this is just something, you know how it is, you just get that intuition. It's like, oh, wait a second, you know, the idea of the red, and And it's interesting because the red and the white, the alternating color between the red and the white too, is that, you know, you're looking at the very root chakra. And then when you're going back to the white, you're going to the crystalline, pure energy chakra. So the idea that you're oscillating between both of them really sort of felt like in those moments, you were literally like, you know, oscillating between different realities of parallel realities in that moment, and allowing yourself to be aware of that shift moment by moment. And you can't photograph, really, even our technology, as good as it is, can't photograph us moving through parallel realities yet.
It just couldn't, even though I was putting it, trying to get the angle, just couldn't pick it up. Couldn't pick it up.
And interesting talking about water, and we've been talking a lot about water today in the last couple days and weeks, Dave and I, and also the idea that it was also a water droplet. So now I'm also seeing the idea of, you know, the root chakra, and then, you know, connecting with the crown, you know, Christ consciousness chakra, and the I guess the water contained in between, if you will. And so again, a lot of this stuff, just like everyone else, you get a vision, you get a feeling, and then when you get a sort of a response back about that feeling, it's sort of like I recognize what a confirmation would feel like, I guess, you know, to say, yep, that's kind of in the frequency of it. So I sort of feel like in that moment that's what was happening, that you're literally experienced, and I've experienced it. It's kind of freaky, actually, when you allow yourself to be more aware of yourself shifting, because we do it billions of times per second. So it's not like we can actually become aware of it, but we are more and more becoming aware of the fluidity, literally water, the fluidity of time, and how the only the moving through the dimensions and parallel realities is so fluid, we don't even realize it.
One question came now when you said parallel realities. Are there parallel realities, or are there just a different perception of one reality?
It's very true.
Well, the
yeah.
idea of the idea of the parallel realities are that they all exist now together as the same thing, but as you're experiencing them from different levels of frequency, your point of view then becomes focused more on that frequency range and band that you're choosing to experience it from in that you.
As Randy said at the beginning, that we are so powerful, we cannot know ourselves yet completely. So every perception, everything has different parallel realities or parallel whatever, is just our powerful abilities to see the same thing on so many different ways. So it can be seen also like that. I don't know yet what is the true or what not, but just that answer came. So when you are perceiving everything from within without interruptions of your mind, you can see everything on so many different ways than through conditioning of your mind. So
explains, and I'm pretty sure I'll get this right. The one is the all that doesn't have the experience of all that is, because he's just all.
Yeah.
All that is
Agree.
the combination of all the things that can be experienced reflected back, and there becomes a separation from the beginning, so you can have the reflection back to who you are. So in order to appreciate the allness of who you are, you begin by creating separation.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. There must be two.
And then operations just continue.
Yeah, there must be two. There must be a reflection of something. Yeah, yeah, I know.
Right, right. And
And because
we're
everything,
it.
and because everything is actually a reflection of the same thing,
Yeah,
those
yeah.
reflections of reflections are, and I think
Infinitive.
I heard Bashar actually explain it, I think in an old video or audio that we were listening to, that if you imagine, you take a card and the card's got a picture of it on it. Let's say we'll call it a flower. That wasn't his example, but we'll call it a flower. And you break up that card in a million different pieces. Those pieces are now pictures of the flower. They're not ripped up pieces of the flower. Each piece is the flower. So every reflection, every piece, every separation is the whole thing.
Is the whole thing.
And you observe it from your perspective, however you want to
Yeah.
perceive it. Because obviously that same picture, if you look at it from the side or the top or whatever, you're going to see it a different way. But it's always the whole flower.
Exactly. That's what made me think about the sunflower too, actually, when you guys were talking about it. And actually, and that's really the answer too. I was thinking about Daniel's question too, about, you know, the symbol and all of that. And yes, I agree that symbols have frequencies, and that's true. Absolutely. Yet I will also say that we get to create our own experience, and there's an infinite number of possibilities, an infinite number, not even of possibilities. There's an infinite number of everything that's already done is there. So the idea is absolutely that symbol could absolutely mean something completely different in a parallel reality. And you are experiencing it right now for your growth and expansion. What does it mean to you? Why are we, I say you when I mean all of us, why are we you then? We're asked then, how do we want to, do we wish that to be our preferred reality or not? And we do get to choose. And that's the beauty of free will. You get to choose. You get to choose to look at it whatever way you want. So just like it doesn't matter where we go, no matter where we go in the world, where a restaurant, the grocery store, wherever, work, everybody in that same place is having a completely different experience. You could have somebody who is overjoyed to be there every damn day and they can't wait to put their feet on the ground. You got the other guy who just cannot stand to be there, not one more minute. And yet it's the same place. So it just depends. I didn't get to say goodbye to her. Bye. Thank you, Astara, for sharing. And all of you, I just want to take this opportunity to once again thank all of you for being here. And of course, we're already at 2 hours. It's like, I just love these interactions and all of you and your sharings and your perspectives, because it expands all of us knowing more and more of all that we are through all of you sharing and sharing your perspectives and your experiences, and to thank everybody in the live chat and everybody who took the time to be with us today and to share these. And so
Don, Daniel, Indigo Blue,
yeah,
Jason Curling.
I was looking at I was going to say hi to Don too. He says he's been conversing a lot with the sacred elders in his meditation. And to remind also ourselves too, that like with the Freddie Mercury thing,
Heather,
all of us can connect with any of those energies and entities and beings anytime we choose, physical, non-physical, at any time, and bring in whatever information and that we can. And I have to say, several of us have talked about certain personalities that have transitioned that many of us connect to, primarily celebrities, if that's what you want to call them. So I think it's wonderful that you received that kind of a message and a vision. And I find it so honoring that you would even feel that way, that the idea of gathering, or even not knowing even that we might gather today, just shows that frequency, the energy of you know, the idea of being together is literally, it's literally magnetic. You know, we're attracting each other for good reason. And I think it's so exciting. And I love all the comments that you guys have been sharing with each other in the YouTube chat. Hi, Jason. Happy birthday to all the Leos and the Virgos coming up. I know all the August birthdays have a little bit of both. So yes, a lot of lion energy and a lot of Lionsgate. Again, we're just want to throw that out there to you guys, that this is a beautiful permission slip that we're having today, as well as on the Lionsgate. And to remind you guys too, that I'm doing a light language event with my friend Katie. And the links are on my website as well for that. You can sign up for that for the Lionsgate. It is a paid private event. So if you're interested in taking advantage of the empowerment of the day and the light languages and the information of whatever comes to share that day, we welcome you. So I wanted to put that out there as well. And and I really like this idea. I like this indigo blue freedom together. And that's how I feel too, is that we have this freedom together to express ourselves so fully and so, God, it's so, I feel like it's so casual and familial, and that I could walk into any of, I could knock on your door and you could knock on mine, and no matter, you know, unannounced or not, and maybe I shouldn't say that, but unannounced or not, I know that I would be welcomed with open arms, and I want you all to feel the same. And so, and I truly say that, and I mean that. If you're here in the area in Alabama, or maybe in the greater Atlanta, Georgia area, or perhaps even in Tennessee, we're not far away from any of these places. And so please do reach out if it's something you want to make a physical contact. Please don't hesitate to let me know if you guys want to be on a video just with us and me and talking about your experience. We welcome that as well. So we're always looking to share. Who wants to share and express themselves. And
thank you very much, and thank you, Dave, and thank you all, because here in Croatia is really late and I'm really tired.
I know you are. So thank you, my dear. Thank you so much for being here. And I wish you sweet and wonderful dreams.
Same to you all. Love you all.
Thank you, Dolores.
Bye.
Yeah, totally. That's awesome. So yeah, we're getting on time, and yeah, it's getting to be 2 hours. So well, it's actually over that now a little bit. So I don't want to keep anyone longer. I just want to make sure that everyone got a chance to share and express themselves. And so thank you to all of you who shared and commented and in every way that you did. And we are always better, greater, and more enlightened, and know more of ourselves through all of you. And I was just checking out Daniel's comment too. And I understand that too, that again, it's, you know, we're talking about them giving us misinformation. And again, it's always an opportunity to decide what's true for you and what's not true for you, what feels good to you and what doesn't feel good to you, and what we want to focus on and what we don't want to focus on. And so we truly have the opportunity moment by moment. And as we gain awareness of our multidimensionality, and we understand, if we truly understand more and more on a quantum level, that you are literally going through billions and billions of possible potential, well, actual, not potential or possible, literally billions of realities per moment, to be able to experience all of these connections back and forth, to say, which reality do I prefer? Which one do I prefer? And again, we are so powerful. We create the experience of receiving misinformation so that we can use our own discernment. And I will always say, don't believe anything we say just because we say it. Do your own research, do your own homework, feel what resonates with you and what doesn't. And even if that is the case, okay, let's just say yes. Let's just say yes. absolutely, there is a reality, no doubt about it. And even if it's the one we're experiencing together right now, for the sake of this conversation, yes, that reality in which those things are happening absolutely exist. Do you want to play in that playground? Yes or no? That is the answer. That's the answer. So yes, it's happening. Yes, there's realities in which misinformation is flowing, or what does that say? Channeling?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
So that's funny. This is the secret language of light death.
And
That
so
happened to be sitting
I
in
just
front of me.
left him here in case we decided to pull a card. So there we go. That's it. That's the only card I think.
So can I see that card again?
Channeling. Look at this,
So
guys.
that form, the picture, I experienced some burst of very, very similar to that in a meditation the other day. It was
This-
exquisite.
Feels like you.
It's beautiful.
It does. It feels like you. Oh my God, that's so bizarre. Wow, what a see. You're all channeling, you guys.
It was sparking. It was sparking.
That is so awesome. Literally, we're all channeling our higher selves, our guides. We're channeling all this information to and from each other, from all of these other realities. And so we get to decide, what does that symbol mean to me? What do I want it to mean to me? Because I will say to you guys, and all experiences are okay, and all experiences are valid. So I will say, if we decide to choose the idea that this thing means a certain thing, because inherently life is meaningless, we put the meaning into everything we do every moment, and everything is going to mean something different to every person depending on their perspective. So if we're putting, then we get the choice to actually create the experience and the reflection of that experience. And that if I believe that this thing is true, that, and I honor that it exists as a thing that I can choose to see or not see or pay attention to, that I know that if I can't, I can still visit it anytime I want. I don't have to, but yet we're so powerful that we're able to create all of these, experiences. And I wish there was a better word for that, but we're able to create these things for ourselves and our reflections in our own reality for us to decide, is that the version I want to exist on, even though I know I don't have to, that it exists, it does exist. There is a reality in which those things are absolutely true. And those who exist and play in that reality are simply going to have the reflection of my experience of those beliefs. And again, this is where we all have to step up our awareness and take that next rung on the ascension ladder to, absorb this information and this idea that you are not a victim. We are not victims. We're the creators of our own reality. What we believe is what we see by reflection. And then by reflection, it's just a compass to say, do we like it? Do we not? Do we like this direction? Do we not? Nope, I'm going to go this way. And all of a sudden that symbol doesn't mean anything. It does not have that meaning for you unless you want to go visit that, and that's fine too. And so anyway, I don't even know how more to expand on that idea. So does anybody else want to share before we go? Because I got to go and we got to go.
Well, I have a kind of a question. You say all that about parallel realities, and we create our own reality and all that, it is like in theory seems like really, and this is my experience, I understand, right? And in theory seems like good, but it kind of doesn't stick. Like I want to change something, I need to change myself first in order for me to see the outside change. But it kind of, I always try to say change the outside instead of changing the me. And myself, I try to change it and it just lasts like about 1-2 seconds. And then again, I want to change the outside. Do you experience the same thing, or is there any way, it takes longer, or tell me?
Oh, absolutely. And Dave can attest to this when he said that earlier about somebody needs to call somebody. Well, that's oftentimes my reaction is, I don't like this reality. I don't like my experience right now. I want to change this reality by me creating an action from this state of being. That's why we won't see the change in our reality, because we're trying to, like you said, we're trying to change the outside. And again, it's only a reflection. So yes, I have all the time. I do it saying, somebody, I need to create something to do. I need to do something, and I need somebody else to do something to create the outside world to change for me, so I can feel better, rather than me feeling better about the situation and allowing the next best possibility to change the reflection. And yet every time I don't do it, and then I realize, and then I go back, like you said, it lasts a few seconds, doing it one way or the other. And then we get to choose once again, wait a second. I don't need to, like Pam's roof lake, the idea is it all depends on how you want to look at it. And all of these things that happen in our lives, the best and worst situations tend up to be the same thing, right? A lot of people will say that the worst thing that ever happened to me in my life was the best thing that ever happened to me in my life.
Yeah, sure.
And so it's kind of, it seems like that's a lot of people's themes. So I would say that, yes, I absolutely do it. Do I live this flawlessly? No, but I get to choose moment by moment, or I'm reminded that you can't get there from there. Changing the outside without changing the inside, you cannot get there from there. And that's one of Abraham's favorite sayings. And it's true, because until you come to terms with why you're feeling what you're feeling, and the real, okay, we ask ourselves, what is it that I believe right now that makes me feel I need to change the situation at all? That's the key. Why do I feel like I have to change the situation at all, when I could just see it as, okay, nothing, this is in this moment, not what I prefer. But again, we will see, we will absolutely find out in the moments, the days, the whatever to come in our fake timeline, that we're going to realize, oh yeah, that's why that happened. Even if it was just for self-development and self-growth. So you could switch your, realize the power that you have to switch that. So absolutely, I do it still. And, but the beauty is, you guys, now you realize it, Liliana, so do I. It's that we can't run away from it anymore. That's the thing. You can't run away from knowing that that's the only answer. That's where we've coming to terms with, is just accepting that, no, we don't know why, we don't know how. And so to accept that, you know what, I don't know why, why did I create that, other than to know that it must be for my benefit. And oh my God, that's one of the things I hate having to do the most.
So Bashar has said that the teachings that involve the idea of the law of attraction, while are accurate, are missing a very key point. And that is, all the things that you want are always being already automatically attracted to you. And the only reason why you're not seeing them is because you're pushing things away with your belief systems.
Yes.
So you don't have to become the vibration of the thing that you want, because you
already are
that vibration.
Yeah.
And the idea also is that every moment you are recreating yourself entirely, moment by moment, to be the you that you want to be in that moment. And you may decide in any given moment, I don't want to be that me anymore. I want to be a new me that doesn't have this, or that does have this. And it doesn't take time for you to become that new you. The moment you decide to become that new you, you are that new you. And all the things that go along with that new you are part of your reality. And if they're not, it's only because you've decided that you're not really quite there to the new you yet. But the moment you do decide to fully become the new you, that's you. And you could decide that at any moment. So you don't have to say, well, it's going to take me 3 months to become the new you, my new you, or a week or an hour.
But if
or a
that's your
moment.
threshold of believability and you believe that it's going to take that long to take your process, that's okay too, though.
And it will be in
And
perfect
that's
timing.
fine. It's going to be in your perfect timing. That's okay too. Exactly.
So making a judgment about, oh, I'm no good because I'm not the you that I want to be, is actually paradoxically making it take longer to
Yep.
become the new you that you want to be.
It's so true. And I do it, you guys. I do it. I'm human, just like everyone else, and I do it. And
Yeah, we're trapped in our negative thinkings by our humanness. We're predisposed, I think, to go there. I really do think it's the battle to transcend that.
it is. It so is. And then we follow our heart, and then we have doubt, and we have indecision, and because we don't trust what we know to be true for ourselves, we let ourselves think instead of feel our way through our lives. And this is
I think that when we get there, we mess in it, and we just kind of fester in it for a while, and then we break free, break away from it, detach from it. And I think that's to land in a higher place for hindsight, because it is valuable as a way to walk forward, in your next steps. But it's that evolution of always seeming to step back and work with light, and then here it comes again. So, but
I get to repeat a lot of Bashar stuff today.
yeah, I guess
So he says,
oh, sorry, guys.
the idea is that it's not this, it's this.
Yeah.
So, and there was a transmission where Bashar was talking to someone, and his hybrid children came through and sort of explained that the highs and lows actually occur so you can bring the things that you get from your highs and ground them in the lows, and that increases the vibration of everything for all your experiences and for everyone else. And then you go back up, and every time you go back up, it might not feel that way because you're always the you that you are now. So you always feel you are where you are, but you're actually experiencing the next high as an even higher high than you did the last time you felt the high. And
your next low won't be as low.
And your low won't be as low, but it's always going to feel lower.
Right. So yes, very well.
Because you were already in the high plane. So you were like this.
Right. And so, right,
So every time
exactly.
you're actually moving up.
But
Even
we've
though
always got to have duality, haven't we? With
Yeah.
our experience, there's always going to be duality. So like Esther Hicks, Bashar, all these people tell us, whatever you put out there, you will, if it's your intention and you've set that intention, it will come to you. But how it comes to you, you have to trust. You have to trust in the process, that just because you've put the intention out there, you're not going to get it tomorrow. You might get it tomorrow, but you have to trust that the universe is working for you because you've put the intention there.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Was it Neville Goddard?
Yes,
who
I was just thinking about
saying
Neville Goddard.
about just like when animals lay eggs or give birth, you know that the egg will hatch, but you don't know how long each egg takes to hatch, and you don't know how long it takes every animal on Earth to give birth, but you know it's going to happen. So you create your seeds of intention, and when you've planted the seed, you know it's going to grow into the thing that you want. You might not know exactly when it's going to be, but you also know divinely there is a timing and it's going to happen. And the more you watch the water boil, the longer it seems to take.
As they say. As they say. Oh, my dear friends, you guys, thank you so much for hanging on till the end, and thank you all of you who've been here today. This has been so so lovely. And it's kind of funny how here the intention is really just to be speaking light language, but this is the language of our light, you guys. This conversation, these interactions, you guys sharing, you guys receiving, you sharing in the live chat, watching this later, all of it. It's all that was the word I was going to use.
Enlightening.
Enlightening, yeah.
Uplifting.
Yes, definitely.
It's,
Definitely
it's a
uplifting.
lot of fun being here with all of you and being able to share doing this with Wendy. And I can't wait to do more of these and all kinds of, we have an unlimited flow of really cool ideas, ranging from all kinds of different things.
Yeah, so we'll just see what happens next, and we'll just keep putting stuff out there and for you guys to hang out with us. And yeah, it's just, it was something else I was going to say and it totally slipped my mind, so I guess it's okay. I was looking to see if there was any other messages, or I forgot I actually have a real mouse now. I want to look in here. Okay. Oh, Pam had to go. Okay. She had to go check on her her roofers.
Somebody had to call
On her
somebody.
leaks.
Yeah, she had to go check on her roofers because somebody had to call somebody. So do you guys have any other last comments or questions, since you guys are here with us in the chat, and anybody else out there, if you have any comments or questions before we close up?
I could talk all night, you know.
I know, me too. You already know that. You guys already know that. And yeah, so that's the fun of the after chat too. So but yeah, I think we're actually gonna close it. We're gonna go so that we're not sitting here all evening. So because yes, we can do that, and it's very late where you are, Beverly. And I'm very excited to reunite with both of you, my dear friends. And
Thank you.
I was just thinking about you, both of you. See it, and you know, you guys, I always say that, but I always say it because it's true. So, I just know that when I put my beacon out there, I'm like, God, I haven't talked to Beverly. Oh, I haven't talked to Liliana. It's like, well, now, you know, you guys hear the beacon, you know, before I even put out the event, you know. So that's what I like about the connection that we all have together when we gather together like this. So if you guys out there who are watching now or later, if you're not a member or subscriber to my website, please do join our little community here, and just share your heart, share your love. Being in this gathering in this way every single time truly does, as Abraham said in that quote, now I'm going to think of it. Oh, I forgot it already. Never mind. I was like, all of a sudden it completely slipped my head, and I say it out like every day. I insert your name, see and draw to me through divine love those beings who seek enlightenment through my sharing. Through my process, the sharing will elevate us both now. And I just heard that in an old Abraham clip many years ago, and it just stuck with me. I wrote it in my book because that is how I truly feel, that the sharing elevates us all. And I think that really is the nut.
So before we go, Kamal asks, how can I become whole?
You already are.
So
You already are. It's just that we're not aware.
Recognize that everything that
of our
you
wholeness.
see and all the things that you think are external are actually
Actually, you.
internal, and start looking at things in that way, and that will bring the wholeness of you back into one.
And again, you are so powerful as a being, as a multidimensional creator being, that we all create the experience of not being aware of all that we are and our multidimensionality. That is why we gather together in this, all as a human collective consciousness, because we are so powerful that we create that idea of separation so that we can realize we are never separated, cannot ever be separated, yet we are powerful enough to create a reality and engage in a reality together in which we believe we are not whole. So we are never not whole. And when somebody says, oh, you completed me, or, oh, I'm whole now with you, no, that has got nothing to do with it. It has got nothing to do with nobody else, nothing else, nobody, not even your partner. It has got nothing to do with that. You have got to recognize your wholeness first. And yet I'm not saying that we still don't, I'm still not recognizing my wholeness as well. But the whole idea is to remember, that we are already whole. We're just experiencing not being that way, and then allowing each other permission slips to each other to recognize that we are already whole, and that everything that you already, as we just talked about, every person, every relationship, everything you ever need is already there within you. It's already a part of you. You're already whole. We just can't see it. That's what ascension is really the awareness to see our wholeness and to believe. And the interesting thing, like you said, Liliana, we have to believe we're whole first before we can even see the reflection back in that.
And the point of the whole thing is that we've created this thing called time, so we could enjoy the experience of discovering ourselves,
discovering the process, because
all the pieces of
our whole
ourselves.
self, it's like this. It's just, you get to experience it at the moment you think it is. So we came here to experience what we call process, the leaky roofs, all the things, the nail we had in our tire yesterday, and
Yeah.
And that's a perfect example, you guys. Okay, that's a perfect example.
Well, the nail wasn't a problem until we decided that it was going to have to be a problem.
And then
because it was in there for months.
So it was in there a long time. We just kept refilling it. So then we decided we're going to take a trip, so we better have it checked out. And then I'm thinking, so I have the choice in my mind at that moment, two realities where, oh, it's going to be fixed and it's going to be easy and quick, or, oh my God, I'm going to need to spend money on a new tire. And I thought, is that the reality I prefer, that I want to spend money on a new tire? And I said, no, I prefer that they find it, they get it, they fix it. And I'm telling you what, you guys, I'm not even shitting you. We pull in there within 10 minutes, if that.
Walmart first said that they didn't want to try to.
They're like, yeah, we're not touching that. And they're like, go to the tire guy down the road, So we're like, all right, fine. So we go to the tire guy down the road.
And Walmart fixes tires.
I mean, this is what we were there for. But anyway, so we go to the tire place, and we also needed an oil change, which they don't do at the tire place. But anyway, within minutes, it was like he rolled it in, pulled it out, fixed it, and it was $8. I'm like, what?
That's good.
Because that's what I preferred.
Yeah.
I had a choice in that moment to decide which vibration. And as soon as I saw the reel in my mind of, them telling me you're going to need a new tire. And I thought, that's a valid reality and not one I prefer. So I just decided in that moment, no. And I was relieved that this is an example.
And when
as soon as they said, we can't fix it, my initial reaction is, shit. But then I was like, oh, wait a second. This is an opportunity to take it someplace else. And look, within seconds, really, they were off, done, fixed. It was like amazing. And $8. So I was like, okay, that's why it wasn't supposed to get fixed there, right? Because they were worried they're going to ruin the tire because of the placement of the nail.
And I like what David said, that you know, the nail wasn't a problem until we decide that it was a problem, you know.
Yep.
I like that, you know.
And it was
that
my
concept.
own, now it was my own fear because now I'm going on a trip. I'm going to be driving, you know, longer than normal. And in my mind, the nail became a
Problematic.
problem
Yes,
because I said,
yes.
we're going on a trip. I don't want anything to happen. Let's go fix the nail. But you know what? That's okay too, because it's your higher self.
telling
Go
you to
with
fix-
it
Fix a
to
tire.
fix the tire. Because,
Exactly. Yes.
and that's
exactly.
okay. That's what your intuition's for, to go fix the
Uh-huh.
tire. So that, you know what I mean? So it was just, the thing is that it was with ease and grace, because we have been filling up this tire for months. And it
Mhm.
wasn't until we decided to go on a trip that we decided it needed attention. And it was with ease and grace. We had no waiting at either place. No waiting, got in and out right away. And they were just like, yeah, we can't do it. And within a few minutes, we were literally like 2 minutes from the tire place, you know,
Oh,
and
we went to get water first.
oh yeah, and we went to, oh yes, and we went to pick up spring water at the spring water place. So in between, that's
We got to let.
that's a very good
let
point.
The manifestation.
Because
work
in
its way.
between, we said, you know what, we'll go pick up water. We're not going to worry about it. We'll pick up water. We'll go to the tire place on the way. The timing was perfect. Now, who knows if I would have went to not gone there to get water first, maybe I would have had to wait in line. Maybe, who knows what would have transpired. So that is a perfect example in everyday life, how you get to change your reality, how you create your own reality. That's how it works. It's so simple, yet we put such complexity into it that it really is that simple. Decide what you want, see it as completed, see it as done, because it is done in that particular reality. So yeah, oh my God, this is what I mean. We could just expand on all of this. And this is why we're going to have so many more hangouts, because otherwise I sit and do this for hours. And I love you. Thank you for that question. Does that answer your question?
We'll have to wait and see for the next episode.
I hope so. Liliana, does that answer your question?
Yes, I like that.
Oh,
With multicolored hearts.
oh, you guys, and thank you all for you new viewers and my old friends, my old family, my new family, because of course we're all family. We just haven't met yet. And that's what I really like about what I do, is that I get to meet my soul family and and I don't even like to call it star family. I don't, because it's sort of, it diminishes it in a little bit, in that I know that we're family. And that is really what everybody, you know, again, the children of God thing, you know, yes, we are all the product of source, of God, whatever name you choose to use. We are its eyes, ears, and reflection. And through our experience, we expand all that is to know itself more and more, and to remind all of us, we are already whole. There's nobody out there waiting to complete you. There's no classes out there waiting to complete you. There's no, there is nothing out there that is going to give you anything more than what you have inside of you. You coming here today is simply you talking to you, giving yourself permission to be more and more of all that you are, and be aware of who you are through your version of us. And it's pretty crazy. It's pretty freaky. And that's kind of how it works. And I'm still wrapping my mind around all this after all these years of playing in it and teaching it. And do I have all the answers? Absolutely not. But yeah, I do. So do you.
Somewhere about there.
So yeah.
Just there.
Yeah.
Just there.
Oh gosh.
Light language blessings.
Ni silvese, yes. Me tove elahino untova ki savashono yiva somoiana halakatea. Mindoya niki savasoto vi ila halongo shasero sono findi kilendia shoya. Amoya la ki sadasea natela la antova kotoveshe intaya. Maoya shanote elaso sibutoye niki shea so. Maomboye niki landia shose kilanda titi tavalo sovesha se tianana. And please do not hesitate to reach out to any of us, Toveshese, for how may I serve and share. Nyakodeveshese.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Thank you, everybody.
Namaste.
Love you guys.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Wave goodbye.